Fractions level 2 and 3. Over the next 2 weeks, we aim to explore fractions, decimals and percentages and how they're connected to each other. This week we shall be working at level 2 towards level 3. We need to cover a lot of essential skills and feel comfortable working with fractions, decimals and percents before we progress towards level 3 and beyond to level 4 next week. This week we'll call this week 1. We will be doing 4 lessons, 1, 2, 3 and 4, based on a period a week. Our learning intention is to be able to identify and use basic fractions in calculations, and our success criteria is to be able to find a fraction of amount without using a calculator. We'll start with unitary fractions. A unitary fraction, or a unit as 1 at the top, is on the numerator on the top. So to calculate a unit fraction, we simply divide by the denominator, divide by what's downstairs. What you can see here is 1 out of 3 shaded, so that would be a third. So if I said find a third of 12, if the whole lot of that was 12, you would split it into 3. So we divide by the denominator, what's downstairs, and we divide by 3. You know you could do that mentally. I'm just showing you divide by the denominator. What's represented here? 1 out of 4. There's a quarter of £20. What do? Divide by 4 and you get £5. A fifth, divide by 5 and you get 9. Notice what if you're given millimetres, write millimetres. If you're given pounds, write pounds. So here a 6 of 42 kilometres is 7 kilometres. You could just answer those. I'm just reminding you you're dividing by the denominator. An 8 for 56, 8 into 56 goes 7. Because it's centimetres, I put centimetres. And lastly, a 9 for 72. How many 9s are in 72? 8. And it's pounds, so I put pounds. There are some that are a little bit trickier, so let's think about tens. So if you divide by 10, remember you can just take a 0 off. So that's how we think about it. So dividing by 10, how many 10s are in it? 90. So just think about the zeros, okay? 15 is hard though. So if you're dividing by 15 and you don't know how many 15s are in 75, then what you could do is actually think about them both divisible by 5. So if you divide 75 by 5 and 15 by 5, then if you reduce it down, you actually have 15 divided by 3, and then your answer is 5. You might not find that any easier, but it's just if you're finding it difficult. Okay, let's have a look at this. You think about it. What's a quarter of 24? So how many 4s are in it? 6. How many 5s are in 30? 6. How many 6s? 9. How many 3s? How many 3s are in 6? So how many are in 60? How many 8s are in 40? How many 10s? Remember, you can think about the zeros. How many 9s? And then how many 12s? And maybe you find in the 12 times table difficult, you might get your answer straight away. Again, if you find it difficult, what you could do is half both numbers, but you've got to do the same to both to get your answer. In this one here, I'll deal with the zeros. And then after that, it's just 18 divided by 2, which is 9. I'm going to do the same thing for a couple of them to show you can reduce down diagonally too. So some people might prefer to say 4 into 24 is 6. And then off means times. Do you remember doing fractions, adding, subtracting, times and dividing before? Off means times. So 1 times 6 is 6. 5 into 30 diagonally goes 6. Off means times, 1 lot of 6. 6 into 54 goes 9. Off means times. You can cancel down the zeros, and then you've got 1 of 12, which is 12 litres. And then the zeros first, and then how many 2s are in 18? So it's the same question, it's just showing you a slightly different technique. Okay, then instead of a unitary one, which is a 1 at the top, then a general fraction is one that might have a different number at the top. So you might have to consider that now. So we divide by downstairs, divide by the bottom, and times by the top. Have you ever stuck? Think times by the top. So try to learn divide by the bottom times by the top. You divide by the denominator, what's downstairs, times by the top. This time I'm going to divide by 3 and then times it by the top, which is 2. So we can find a third that we have done before, but then we have to remember to double it. So 4 times 2 is 8. Divide by the bottom, divide by the 4, which is 5, and then times by the top. So don't forget it's 5 times 3 and you get 15. Divide by the bottom times by the top, divide by 5. 5 into 45 goes 9, and then 3 of those 3 9s are 27. Divide by the 6. 6 into 54 goes 9. How many 5s? 5 times 9 is 45. Divide by the bottom times by the top, divide by 8. Now you might find that difficult, so you can always do a bus shelter, if you want to call it that, at the side. 8 into 9 goes 1, so carry 1, you get 12. 12 5s are 60. 9 into 81 goes 9, and then 4 9s are 36. You can take the 0, can't you? And then you've got 7 times 18. You might want to do a sum at the side. You might be able to do it in your head. It's fine to do a sum. 7 8s are 56. And then 7 1s are 7, and don't forget the 5. And then you get your answer. So it's absolutely fine to do sums. This one here, I don't know my 15 times table very well, so what I'm going to do is consider 105 divided by 15 at the side. Do you remember me reducing down before? So 5 goes into both of these, so 5 into 10 goes 2, 5 into 5 goes 1, so if I divide both sides by 5, I get that. Much easier, and it's 7. So that's the first part of it, so 105 divided by 5 is 7, and I've still to times it by 7, and I get 49. Okay, let's have a look here. So I'm going to do the diagonal cross. So 4 into 36 goes 9, and then 3 lots of 9 is 27. 5 into 30 goes 6, and 4 of 6 means 4 times 6, which is 24. 6 into 48 goes 8, 5 lots of 8 is 40. 3 into 90 goes 30, and then 2 of those makes 60. How many 8s are in 56? 7. 7 lots of 7, 49. How many, what do you do with 10s? You can go like that. And then you've got 9 lots of 12. What's that? 108. 9 into 36 goes 4. What's 7 times 4? 28. Do you remember how many 12s made 72? It was 6. 11 6s are 66. And lastly, do you remember the zeros? And then how many 2s are in 18? And then 13 times 9, you can do a sum, and you get $117. Okay? Okay, what are you going to do? Now you're going to try those skills, because I'm talking about mental skills just now. So go to Math Workout. You go to number. So you'll see that box there for number. Go to number 16, which is fractions. Go to the bottom of the list, which has the red and flash options. Choose fractions 1. Go to target 5. So you see fractions appear. Target 5, I want you to jump to, and then go to all levels 1 through to 6. You'll start with unitary and then go on to mixed. If you want to try more, you can then press reset or clear, and you can also do the additional questions at the end of all the attachments. Okay? No calculator is allowed. If this link works, if you can click onto it, then you can go straight to it, but this is all the route to get to it anyway. That's lesson 1 completed. Ideally, between watching this and trying the task, you'll feel happy finding a fraction of an amount. If you'd like more work on this, I've attached additional questions that are optional. You don't have to do those ones. You want to go through all of the Math Workout ones though. And before we stop, how do you rate your success? Can you do this now? What would you do? Check your answer in the next slide. Did you have 5 into 45 went 9 times, 2 lots of 9 and 18. Remember the kilograms as well. Don't forget your units. Okay, that's your lesson complete.